Hello everyone, I am Rivu and today I will be presenting our paper titled Remote VR Studies, a framework for running virtual reality studies remotely via participant-owned HMDs. In the past decades, VR headsets were not widely available, and their setup required a substantial degree of technical knowledge. Hence, the vast majority of the research was conducted in a lab setting. In a lab setting, researchers took care of the setup and guided participants. However, in the past years, we have witnessed a proliferation of VR head-mounted displays. A considerable number of end users now own a VR headset. This gives a chance for researchers to move VR research out of the lab and reach a more diverse community. This is similar to what happened with other technologies such as smartphones and public displays. From this motivation, we set out to explore the challenges and opportunities of conducting remote studies. To this end, our work is guided by the following research questions. What are the demographics of HMD owners? Which VR equipment do they own? And what their home VR setups are like and their willingness to participate in studies? Apart from understanding the HMD owners, we also focus on suitable approaches to conducting studies and their advantages and disadvantages. We ask ourselves how to develop and set up VR applications, how to distribute prototypes and recruit participants. In addition, we explore the special considerations to design and run a remote study. To understand the HMD owners, we conducted an online survey among VR users. Our survey focuses on understanding the demographics of the users, the equipment, and the platforms they use. We also ask them how they set up their VR system, its use, and their willingness to participate in user studies. And we distributed the survey via different channels. This included forums, social media, university mailing lists, and research-oriented crowdsourcing platforms. We recruited a total of 227 participants. Results show that 170 of our participants were male and only 52 were female. They were aged between 8 to 56 years with an average of 29.7 years and a standard deviation of 8.8. Participants lived mainly in the US, UK, and Germany. Most participants used Oculus devices, followed by Valve Index, PlayStation VR, and HTC Vive. Only a handful owned VR headsets made of cardboard. If you look at the chart, you would see that most users have a space up to 25 square meters. The chart on the left shows the total time in hours spent in VR. Most users spend at most 2 hours on weekdays and weekends, and during quarantine, they reported somewhat higher usage. The chart on the right shows the effort taken to set up the system, and we see that only a few participants considered the setup to take substantial effort. We now look at the willingness to participate in user studies. The chart on the left shows that the majority of the participants strongly agreed to participate in studies both during and after quarantine. The chart on the right shows that participants are most comfortable participating in studies at home compared to participation in the lab. We then explored the approaches to developing VR applications. We have looked into two possible development approaches: standalone applications and applications using social VR platforms. Standalone applications can be developed using various tools. One popular tool is the Unity engine, but this may require expertise in software engineering, can be time-consuming, and may at times require expertise in visual design and 3D modeling. Using social VR platforms, we can build the application within the platform itself. Some do allow custom application to be uploaded, for example, VRChat. Please do refer to our paper for a more extensive comparison. Next, we explored the approaches to distributing VR applications. As you can see, we have three approaches to do this: direct download, VR platforms, and app stores. Each approach has a list of pros and cons. With direct download, participants can simply download the application and install it. With VR platforms, the environment is usually in the platforms, and as researchers, we do not have to explicitly distribute it. With app stores, we publish the apps online, such as in Google Play or the Oculus Go store. But in this approach, we may be subject to review by authorities, and it is not always free of charge. To complement our online survey and our analysis, we now present two case studies used to gather first-hand experience. You now see our first case study, titled Health Interfaces in VR Shooters. In this case study, we developed a standalone VR application that participants could directly download and install. This was an independent study method without any experimenter present during the study. We highlight here that we had a high completion rate and participants gave positive feedback about participation. But we found recruitment to be challenging and a few minor technical issues were faced that were later addressed. In our second case study, titled Investigating Proxemics in VR, we explored if the theory of interpersonal distance between users is also applicable in VR. We developed the application using the social peer platform Rec Room. Participants participated within Rec Room, and it was a remotely guided study method where the experimenter was present during the study in VR via Rec Room. Similar to the first case study, we had a high completion rate and received positive feedback. We struggled to find female participants in this platform, and we had participants from different parts of the world. Hence, tackling different time zones was a challenge. We synthesized our findings from the online survey case studies into a framework for remote VR studies. As you can see here, we distinguish 4 primary approaches to conducting remote studies. We refer to them as paths 1 to 4. Path 1 is the most independent, with paths 2 and 3 being somewhat reliant on existing platforms, and path 4 being fully conducted on an existing platform. In the paper, you will find an elaborative comparison of different paths and the advantages and drawbacks. Based on our framework, we suggest that researchers consider interactions in VR, requirements of data collection, and the drawbacks and advantages of independent and remotely guided studies when designing a study. Finally, we present a set of best practices and lessons learned. These include guidelines such as considering the HMD owners, their demographic limitations, considering the recruitment platforms, the implications of data collection, and ethical concerns. Thank you everyone for watching the presentation. For further information, please do refer to our paper. We are happy to take any questions you may have.